Just in time for the holiday weekend, when they didn't think you were paying attention, the FBI, working on behalf of the Hillary campaign, released a report detailing its interview with Hillary Clinton. It including bombshells like this. She blamed a concussion for failing to remember key security briefings at all. She had no memory of it. Did the press cover that at all? Well, here to discuss it, senior fellow at the Independent Women's Voice, Julie Gunlot. Julie, it's good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
So I thought it was kind of a big story. Hillary Clinton, according to the FBI, said she didn't remember entire briefings and couldn't go to work except for a few hours a day because of a brain injury. That's a story, no? I didn't read that somehow in the New York Times.
It's absolutely a story. Look, I think that there's no doubt that the press is in the bag for Hillary Clinton, but now it appears they're not just giving her a pass. They're concealing things from the American public, things that are really important for the electorate to know. It's not the press's job to determine what voters should know. And yet you have a press that's saying, this isn't important. I think the health of the candidate is critical, and the voter should have that information.
Well, I think so, too. And I'd like to see Trump's full, health report. I actually would. And a lot of people have jumped on his doctor for being flaky, et cetera. Fine, that's fine with me. But there's no coverage at all of Hillary's health. And that lets you know that they're taking sides pretty aggressively.
And when you compare it to other candidates, John McCain, even Mitt Romney, they were saying, is he suitable? Does he get too angry? Ronald Reagan, for goodness sake. So, when you look at how the press has hammered people on the right, it's not consistent.
So I hate to keep beating up on the New York Times, but it was once the most serious newspaper in the world, and it does set the tone for a lot of other news coverage still, as kind of a legacy effect back when it was a serious newspaper. Here is the news account. I'm just reading cold. The first paragraph of the news account of Trump's meeting at the black church yesterday. This is in this morning's New York Times. Verbatim quote. Donald J. Trump, who has campaigned for president as a blunt provocateur, dismissing complaints of racial insensitivity as political correctness, took an uncharacteristic step on Saturday. He visited a black church for the first time and tried to blend in. So here's what we learned in the very first paragraph of a, air quotes, news story. Trump's a racist, and yet he went to a black church anyway and tried to pretend that he belonged there. Like, that's a news story?
The press cannot control themselves anymore. They're absolutely deranged when it comes to their opposition on Trump. And it's really disturbing how in news stories, these are news stories, they can't help but editorialize. So I think the voters are really having a hard time tuning this out. Again, Hillary, she has total contempt for the voter, total contempt for the press. The press doesn't mind. And what's so frightening about this is that a free and unbiased press is so important to our democracy. They diminish themselves when they give Hillary a pass and editorialize on Trump.
And it's not because they're liberal, though they are. It's because they see the establishment under threat from middle America, and they are rushing to the rescue because they are members of that establishment. That's what it's about, I think.
Again, it's a matter of the press determining what the voters should know about. They don't think that Hillary's health and her judgment. I mean, this stuff that came out from the FBI is amazing. And when you couple it with the emails and Abaddon's information, it's pretty remarkable how fragile and really kind of confused she gets. So I think the voters are owed this information from the press.
Yeah, well, I'm giving up my Time subscription for the first time in my life because it's garbage and propaganda, and it's driving me crazy. Great to see you, Julie.
Thanks for having me.